Everybody talk about the way to be, and I ain't finished with the same old me. Identity blues. Got yourself to lose with any name you choose. Identity blues. Well, mama says he's righteous, good looking too. On the other side of town, they're tying his news. Identity blues. That ain't no fake news. Pick any name you choose. Identity blues.
Scene! Scene! Hey, Scene! Come hither, you sexy beast!
What do you want now?
You do realize that's a boathouse and not a bathhouse, right?
No, I'm looking for the spark plug you said you needed.
Nah, forget about it, sport. The motor's tip-top.
Then why are we down here trying to fix the motor?
We are down here because I needed a respite from those two fools up on the deck. And more importantly, you and I, we need to discuss some matters of vital importance.
I hesitate to ask what these matters may be.
Fear not, champ. And remember, courage is the bitter part of valor. So, yield to your lesser angels because we are going to conceptualize our next motion picture.
Oh no.
Oh yes, hold on a second. Don't worry. It shall be called The Dude's Revenge, a celluloid treatise of the Coen Brothers' 3 worst films.
But I don't want to do another Coen Brothers rehash.
Rehash? Hey, chin up, sport. And listen, all filmmaking is derivative. Every scene, every action, every line mimics a previous performance. Either with a self-satisfying nod or with an unconscious purloining.
Sure, there's nothing new under the sun, but you're proposing that we make the 4th film in this trilogy the sequel to the first? Even Star Wars didn't do that.
Well, that's because Star Wars isn't real, champ. Our films are real fiction, not fiction. Our films are art.
Wait, you're serious about this?
Vituperously serious. Now, would you please trudge up those treacherous stairs and canvas those 2 clowns?
Now, wait a minute. Let's just take a second and consider a few things.
Okay, sure. Consider away, my good boy. But remember, full frontal nudity is probably out.
Have you already forgotten about the nasty complaints about your first Coen film, Raising the Bowski?
My dear boy, you of all people should know that as a literary artist, I am immune to criticism from the hoi polloi.
Yeah, that likely means you're immune to a voice of reason.
Well, I may be vaccinated against reason, but that disease remains a pandemic.
But that voice says that all of our movies are the same.
All by design, my good boy. As the adage goes, familiarity breeds content. Now, just cotton to this paradox and everything will be clear. Modern art in the postmodern world is postmodern art in the modern world. Capiche?
Well, sure, you put the lime in the coconut.
Now you're getting it, sport. Just expand on that theme and beseech this savvy notion. The entire world is postmodern. Everything that happens is an allusion to something that happens before it. Like those Russian dolls, but outwardly and ad infinitum. Bertrand Russell would say, it's turtles all the way up.
Well, that's quite a picture you paint, but can we consider a twist on the stale narrative of making movies that just talk about other people's movies?
But that's exactly what we are doing by keeping the theme the same. It's like reverse pop psychology for the everyman.
But that's confusing for everyone.
Not at all. It's like, you have to remember, we are talking about postmodern art in a world bereft of facts and logic.
Then how do we offset the criticism about the stiff acting and wooden delivery?
How do we do anything, sport? With misdirection, of course. Now, listen, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity, I will not let the blame fall onto the thespians. These roles are like real exploration for them. It's like cognitive usurpation or forced cohabitation of another spirit. It's mind melding. Actors are merely cannon fodder in the war on film. It is the directors playing generals who march these troops into unseen battles of mass consumption.
Well, then we're fucked because Air Director has a general with no regard for mass casualties.
Das ist richtig. He is an incompetent general. He's like the Ed Wood of box office blitzkrieg. No, wait. He's the monopoly on Thermopylae's monotony. I mean, basically, The man's his own thin red line.
You've just underscored my next point, which is the obfuscatory dialogue.
Obfuscatory? Obfuscatory? So, I don't believe that's a word, but it should be, and I relish the perfection of your exclamation. Now, allow me to retort to said grievance.
If you must.
My dear boy, listen. All postmodern dialogue is built on non sequiturs, and this is an ingenious coping mechanism. Otherwise, our brains would melt our hearts with populist sincerity. Think about it.
Non sequiturs?
Obfuscanatory?
But how is the audience going to understand the narrative of the story?
Because it's a social contract of mutual respect.
Maybe, but I don't think both parties have read the fine print.
Well, we are the party brandishing the literary license, and they're the party that wandered into the theater as a voluntary captive audience.
But wouldn't it be prudent to fulfill our due diligence by following the established scaffolding of a story?
Scene, scene, scene. My dear, dear boy, listen. Every man kills that which he loves the most. So, certainly as a writer of prose, we are bound to superfecundate our uberfluidity a smidge. No?
Do you ever hear yourself speak?
I love to hear myself speak. I just try real hard not to listen to it.
Wow, well then, listen to me, sport, while I speak like you for a minute. Your egregious obstinance is vexing. All I'm asking for is a simple goddamn plot. A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Listen, I would love nothing more than to make you smile, champ, but this is not Bollywood shorts in a nail salon. This is postmodern, post-pandemic, middle American high art for lowbrow learners.
Is that even a niche?
Of course it's a niche. Well, micro niche maybe, or a nano niche even. But here's the rub, and in simple terms. If video killed the radio star, then Cormac McCarthy annihilated 21st century Pollyannic denouement. Fucking annihilated it.
Holy balls, Stu! The last thing I'm worried about is the climax of the film. Our viewers crave the rolling of the credits. All I'm begging for is some semblance of cogency and a hint of story resolution.
Methinks your earnest humanity is underwritten by false charity, my dear Horatio. However, as an intrepid artiste, I will not be shackled by the industry's formulaic three-act structure.
Well, then be shackled by common sense and mature humility.
Oh, that is churlish, my dear boy. But I will not be goaded so simply.
Well, it's worth a try.
It's always worth a try, sport. But permit me to repeat this tautology. Every man kills what he loves the most. That's the inherent tragedy of the human condition. Therefore, every writer tortures his captive muse. Every director abandons the writer's glorious words, and every editor cuts the director's beautiful shots.
Now you just sound paranoid, but what I'm proposing is very simple. To have a point for once, whether or not we actually make it.
No, 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 no. An artist with integrity must permit his or her viewers to create their own point, their own reality.
But the only people who watch our films are our friends. And we've got some pretty goddamn patient friends.
Inveterately so. But this is the blue-pilled reality, sport. Things are more the way they are now than they've ever been before.
Wait, how is that postmodern?
It's postmodern because we live in the Henry Ford era of entertainment, where Karl Marx is but a beat poet who languishes stupefied as his revolutionary words molder on the blue-collar man's TiVo remote.
That is a lot of metaphors. Are you sure you can handle it?
Metaphors are the milk of human kindness, my dear boy.
I'm not saying we should cater to the Black Friday barnstormers, but we could win a few hearts and minds with even the most basic plot structure.
999, meine klein Mensch. Pandering to the hoi polloi is like pimping for politicians. And you know that I will not cater to the masses, for they are the ultimate cause of the ubiquitous summer blockbusters and the relentless advertising blitzes and the asinine test screenings and the more uninspired remakes of reboots and the tedious paint by fucking number resolute endings.
Rest assured, my paranoid friend, Disney is not funding this project.
Right, and that's because it is art.
So your answer to this existential capitalist crisis is more circuitous Coen Brothers dissection?
I am a soldier, sport, not a martyr. But we are all ever tested, so that's why we must all stay ever vigilant. And that is why the indefatigably infallible Marty Scorsese answered the same clarion call defiantly with another hackneyed mob movie.
Sure, but the Jimmy Hoffa thing was timely.
Right, but the dude is eternal.
Sure, as a stuck in the 60s hippie type maybe.
No, eternal. That's like temporal infinity to us. Furthermore, it's precisely this type of immortality that all egomaniacs crave, from Nero to Trump. But get this, the winsome and guileless dude, he never even asked for it. All he ever desired was for his rug to be cleaned and returned.
Mind you now, you are talking about a character in a 1990s movie.
Indeed I am, but you're not listening to me, sport. The dude is eternal, like Macbeth and Macduff or McDonald's even. So, what I ask you is this: what's to stop us from continuing our fervent deconstructions of the aforementioned auteurs?
Evidently, not a soul.
I refuse to acknowledge the necessity of the legislative branch.
God damn it, Kung Fu. I'm not wandering into this political quagmire with you. You libertarians are like hobos without the trains.
Classism.
Listen, I just want to live off the grid. I want to play my guitar, I want to plant my herbs, and I want to feed my kitties.
Yeah, you sound like Ted Kaczynski and Saul Alinsky had a baby.
At least I believe in daylight savings time.
Listen, I don't need some government boobs telling me where or when to set my fucking clocks. Hey, Scene, get up here. We need another opinion.
Gentlemen, allow me an interruption. I've been tasked with an assignment from His Lordship.
Well, then we yield the floor to the honorable gentleman from Mounds.
What are your 3 least favorite Coen Brother films?
Nope, we're not doing another film project.
Hey, you call me fuck. I love making movies with Air Director. He made me look sehr gut in the last one.
He could make Eva Braun look like Marilyn Monroe, but I am not going to do another film with that deranged psychopath.
No, Air Director's not the problem. It's that asshole scriptwriter.
Well, Stu is our only writer, and Air Director's the only guy we know with any camera equipment. So, you know, lemonade, bitches.
But life didn't hand us lemons. It handed us this pompous-ass Oscar Wilde wannabe.
Yeah, and some Teutonic boof with a camera.
Lemonade, bitches, let that be your new mantra. Now, back on task, what are your least favorite Coen Brother films?
Isn't that theme a bit derivative? Surely we can come up with a better theme than that.
Stu says that derivation is postmodern art's expression in a world bereft of facts and logic.
Is that a Dylan lyric?
Not everything unintelligible was coined by Bob Dylan.
Yeah, if it was Dylan, I'd credit him. Now, use your brains and think.
Ooh, Ladykillers and Blood Simple.
The fuck, Kung Fu? Blood Simple? How could that possibly be on your worst list?
Jesus, Kung Fu, it was their first film and kicked ass. It was like the Maltese Falcon of natural-born killers.
The Chinese even remade that one, right? It was a woman and a gun in a noodle soup from the director of Hero and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Daggers.
Yeah, well, the Chinese counterfeit a lot of things.
Have you even seen Blood Simple?
Yeah, no. No, I haven't, but I have seen Reservoir Dogs. And that, my friends, is how you make your inaugural film noir.
It took Tarantino years to write that script, and without Blood Simple, there is no Reservoir Dogs.
So they made Lemonade.
That's not what it means, you wank.
I really hate to interrupt, but Gmo, do you have some ideas I can float down to Stu?
Yeah, I got one. Hail Caesar. That one was more repugnant than a cold prison shower.
OMG, Gmo, we finally agree on something. I forgot all about that repugnant aberration, that so-called homage to the golden age of racism and sexism in Hollywood. Gentlemen, I move to remove Blood Simple from the record.
Perfect. We have our 2.
I thought you said 3.
Well, I want to save one for Johnny.
Johnny, yeah. That guy's not very intelligent, not very clever. He still thinks you can sink Dark Side of the Moon with The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Johnny doesn't know Day of the Jackal from Dawn of the Dead. I'm guessing he'll say, what's the movie?
Well, at least he can remember his lines.
Hey, where you been, sport? Is there a bathhouse up there too?
You know how hard it is to get a straight answer out of those two?
Yes, I do. And what did they say?
Ladykillers and Hail Caesar.
Oh, Jesus, my good man. That is enough shark jumping shitamundo to make even the fawn stand up and say, "Hey."
Well, Kung Fu initially screamed blood simple.
Blood simple? Jesus Christ. What an inglorious twat. You know, I bet that coward hasn't even seen it.
He actually admitted as much, but I know better than to call him on the carpet.
Yeah, he's liable to micturate on it.
He's about as rational as an outstate Vikes fan in full face paint.
Right. Tailgating before Packers game.
Blood alcohol 0.09.
Well, I still need one more suggestion, so you think you could trot back up there and dig a little deeper into their corrective subconscious?
Absolutely not. Besides, we got to save one for Johnny.
Johnny? Shit. That Quasimodo don't know the Coen Brothers from the Farrelly Brothers.
Oh, indeed, but that bell ringer's bringing the walleye fillets to the grill, and I'm gonna make my famous piment with d'Espelette mayonnaise.
Oh, chante, mon ami.
Do you have any idea how much saffron costs in central Minnesota?
More than a fish house hand job?
Can you just call him?
It's gone straight to voicemail 3 times.
I've got a great idea. For our next film, let's not have us waiting around for Johnny to show up.
You got to give us what we want. Hey, you got to give us what we need.
So you said this would be a short canoe trip. Now we're in the middle of the fucking lake.
We're headed for that pontoon. You see that one tied to the dock?
I see about 6 pontoons tied to 6 docks.
Arr, the one with the longest stairs, that to be our bearing.
Tell me about these friends. Are they fun? Are they interesting? Will I be entertained?
Are they fun? Aints, are they fun? Yeah. Yeah, they're fun. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're fun. Dos, are they interesting? They think so, with their whole hearts. Trey, are they entertained? Entertained you shall be. Ding, 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 you win all 3. But a bit at your own expense, so channel Dobson's Jabberwocky as your instinctual defense.
Huh, good thing I wore my t-shirt.
Too bad you didn't wear your "Se se ne pas una peep" t-shirt. The one with the dildo on it.
A bit esoteric, huh? Do you think your friends would get it?
They definitely know it wasn't a pipe.
Then they've never woken up half drunk in a piss-drenched alley off Rue Saint-Denis.
You see, they have the appearance of intelligence, as long as you don't question any of their factual misremembered presumptions.
But as the wise man often says, facts are a fool's bounty.
The fool is the only one who can speak truth to the king.
Strange group of friends. How do they handle your Mensa IQ?
They don't. I play the bumbling idiot. It's way less work for me and way less embarrassment for them.
Oh, so Laurel to their Ollie? Most people don't realize that Stan Laurel was the brains behind that act. Oh, Ollie, is that a banana in your pocket?
Yeah, I feel like Jeeves to their Wooster just kind of wrapped up in a Benny Hill skit.
But what's in it for you?
Well, I don't mind playing the fool. And plus it enhances my acting chops for the short films they make.
You think they let me be in one?
Undoubtedly, your mere appearance today almost guarantees you a spot in the next one.
Who writes the scripts?
Oh, hair director usually starts them, because nobody else will. Then my pal Stu gets a hold of them, and he gets his horny little hands on them, and he gropes the nouns, and fondles the verbs, and couples the adverbs to adjectives in a filthy, inflamed, engorged love chain that makes almost every take impossible.
Are these movies any good? How come you've never shown me any?
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any of them. These films are a blast to make, and it's all about the process. Stu, he'll tell you that twice even. He won't shut up about it. These films are so much fun to make, but they don't have plot or character development or even conclusions.
Oh, Christ. Some real postmodern shit then.
They'd think so, like a mural Banksy in a gift shop.
Okay, but how many films have they done?
Well, it started out as a trilogy, and I guess we'll never really know for sure. The first one was Raising Lebowski, and it started with me drilling holes in the ice right about here. And that revolved around us talking about the best Coen Brothers films.
Raising Lebowski? Interesting title. Smacks of Weekend at Bernie? Set during the Battle of Somme.
Interesting, accurate, inventive, minus the mustard gas and dysentery.
I can't wait to discuss movies with these eccentric auteurs.
Well, you had better dumb it down then, or at least play it fast and loose. These guys don't like being contradicted in any of their movie trivia. They still think Fargo won Best Picture in '96.
Really? But everyone knows English Patient won that year. Plus, the Academy would never give Best Picture to a movie with Tom Cruise, a female director, or a wood chipper.
Randall, you might possess the mental wherewithal to manage these avant-garde douchenicks. Be on guard at all cost. Adopt the attitude of the tiger.
Right, so stiffen the sinews, disguise fair play as heavy-handed disabuse, and lend the eye an intimidating aspect.
Exactly. Or these pickle dicks will twist every truth you speak. Remember that they have craft in their daft and bile in their guile.
Right, so parry while making merry, but riposte at any fucking cost.
Right, but remember, they are Minnesotans at heart, so nothing French or verifiable.
I promise to be careful. I promise no politics. I promise no fucking common sense. I promise no Robespierre.
Randall, my boy, you are going to earn your merit badges today.
You know, I've been meaning to ask, why are you paddling with a hockey stick?
It is a little known fact that no one has ever drowned in a canoe while paddling with a goalie stick.
Oh, so you're playing the odds.
I am playing the odds, my dear boy. Ba-ba-ba-da-now. Ahoy, matey!
Arr, there she blows, Captain. Alas, the Gordon's dinghy has finally arrived. My dearest Johnny, we have been waiting for your freshwater catch with a most frustrated disposition.
Well, we got us a call the wolf situation. Like in Guns of Navarone.
Hold on a second, Captain. Are you telling me that you have not yet procured said walleye?
Walleyes, plural. And, no, we lost the whole stringer of them out in the lake.
Stringer? So are you guys saying you caught these this morning?
Who says we caught anything?
Well, why didn't you just put the fish inside the cooler inside the canoe?
Do you see a cooler? The mini haha took that bitch last year.
Anyway, who's your hapless stowaway?
This royal seaman, my favorite cousin, Vice Admiral First Class Randall Claiborne III.
The third? Oh, so he knows who his father is then.
My mother's claimed she's narrowed it down to 3 guys from Moron.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Admiral, but be warned, any relative of Johnny's is under immediate suspicion from my moral compass, but more importantly, from our state's legal codes.
Will allow me to lay your fears, Governor, for I was conceived under the most progressive, socially acceptable decorum of the 1960s.
A salty seaman indeed. I like your on spawn, my dear Johnny. Now, tell me you did not forget the VSOP.
RSVP? Huh? Yeah, I told you I was coming.
Not RSVP, the VSOP, my dear Trog, the very superior old pale, the motherfucking brandy.
Brandy. I thought you said bring Randy.
Well, lucky for you, we won't be having a Chet situation tonight.
What's a Chet?
Chet? Well, Chet's a friend of ours. He's fancies himself a bit of a culinary mama's boy and what would you say? A cordials aficionado. But more importantly, he's like Bobby fucking Flay on a Weber grill. So his absence is our loss.
Where's Chef Melodrama?
Well, the official line out of Lakeville is that he came down with some frothy diarrhea this morning, but I think the truth is probably that his Bette Midler DVD box set came in the mail, so he won't be leaving the house all weekend.
I defecate on the judicial branch. You cannot legislate from the bench. That's freaking Freedom 101, man.
Stu, have you fixed that motor yet? Adolf's politics here reek of 1930s Europe.
Then tell the Bundesliga representative that the Reichstag is kaput.
My people are Danish, you fucking Anglophile.
Danish? Well, that surely explains the Kung Fu moniker.
Johnny, please tell me you remembered the beer this time. The brandy, the BNSF, and the new...
Say, where's the walleye?
Walleyes, plural. And yeah, we lost that too.
God damn it, Johnny. Now we gotta eat wieners and burgers again.
Fear not, Jimosabi, for I've known Johnny since before the Herschel Walker trade. So I suspected this likely outcome, and that's why there are fresh walleye marinating in the fridge.
Ooh la la! And what succulent remoulade will adorn les poissons?
Let's see, sport. Garlic, ginger, lemon peel. Alas, my good boy, but saffron was not in the budget.
Sacre bleu!
Hey, why is Bad Santa crashing our bat mitzvah?
This iconically bearded man is Johnny's uncle cousin Randy, aka Randall Claiborne III.
Hey everybody, just Randy.
Call him Doc. He's a real doctor.
Finally, we have a doctor. Can you come take a look at this rash? It itches like a sumbitch.
Not that kind of doctor. I'm a veterinarian.
Oh, I thought you were a doctor that helped people.
Hey, Randy, question for you. Purely hypothetical. Let's say one of us just indiscriminately walked into a botched robbery and got shot.
Yeah, and you know, we couldn't go to a regular doctor because of the perceived culpability thing.
And you had to like pull out the bullet and put the stitches in, and you know, because of post motherfucking haste, man.
Yeah, and as a veterinarian, I mean, you'd have to help us, right? Like, because of your hypodermic oath or whatever.
Yeah, and you couldn't tell the authorities because of your doctor-patient confidentiality thing.
Are these two shitting me?
I ain't shitting you, man. They've been waiting years to ask these questions to a real veterinarian.
They've watched every season of The Wire 5 times.
Consider yourself warned, Doc, because once these two clowns get enough liquor on board, their nonsense will make your head spin like a coked up George Jones on a Friday night.
He stopped loving her today.
So which one of you got shot? Hey, boys, gonna cue up some tunes here. I've got a masochistic hankering for some Mumford & Sons.
Mumford & Sons.
Those cousin fuckers with banjos?
You know, if I wanted to hear their shit, I could just turn on the current.
Fine. Here, let me play this obscure Radiohead song from one of their live albums.
Okay, obscure and live, like everything after Kid A.
Come on, Gmo, I kind of like their later stuff.
Yeah, that means you like minor chords, under-tempo synthesizers, random clinks and clanks, and unintelligible lyrics.
Yeah, sounds like some postmodern shit to me.
Yeah, like Moby remixing Enya.
Okay, how about some replacements? True rock and roll, garage rock played by slam poets.
The Replacements. I love that movie.
Gene Hackman and Keanu Reeves, a duo like no other.
Oh yeah, and Daniel Craig's first movie. Boys, wrong medium, wrong replacements, wrong everything.
Damn it, Johnny. Daniel Craig, the best James Bond ever, definitely was not in The Replacements.
Best James Bond? Oh, hell no, scene. Daniel Craig is definitely not the best James Bond. He's not even the best replacement. Tommy was.
Bob's dead, baby. Bob's dead.
Oh boy! That distinction goes to Sir Sean Connery, the Thane of Cawdor and the Whore of Glasgow.
Steve McQueen was my favorite Bond.
Johnny, Steve McQueen never ever played James Bond.
Have you not seen Casino Royale?
Wait, what's happening here?
It's like this, Doc. Who would you take in a James Bond fight? Daniel Craig or Sean Connery?
Chet would say Roger Moore, you hacks.
Roger Moore? Oh, hell no. Using your logic, I'd pick Dudley Moore before I'd use Roger Moore. Roger Moore has a dainty cojones of Desi Arnaz trying to play Tony Montana.
At least he was classy.
So was Pope Ratzinger, a.k.a. Joey Rats.
I'd probably take Timmy Dalton. He was in his prime back then. He was underrated, overly criticized. He just had shitty scripts, if you guys know what I mean.
Well, according to the hoi polloi.
Hey, do you guys think Paul Westerberg liked Radiohead?
No way, he didn't even like the Replacements.
Kurt Cobain loved Radiohead.
Shut the fuck up, Johnny.
Oh, Westerberg gratified his suication all right, but between Rehab and Relapse, he actually produced the Stones' Voodoo Lounge.
Calling bullshit on that one.
Voodoo lady, shaking that stick, making me crazy.
Are you gonna play some fucking music or what?
Got to boogie, okay, 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 okay.
Bon appetit, my epicurious friend. Scene, you may have even outdone Chef Chet tonight with this meal.
Oh, hold on now, I prefer we didn't tell this to Chet.
Nada nada. My lips are sealed regarding the ruminations about your apparent online cooking course.
My lips are sealed.
But now, gentlemen, down to brass tacks. We need to nail down our next film project so I can get out there and start securing funding for it.
Funding? We're getting paid.
Really? Not just company t-shirts and comped tickets to the screening?
Hey, if we've got a budget this time, can we hire a competent screenwriter? Those last Amazon Prime reviews were brutal.
Now, hold on, Kung Fu. Don't let Air Director hear you say that. Next thing you know, he'll expect us to memorize our lines.
That first shoot, I was so drunk, it sounded like outtakes from The Usual Suspects.
Freddie Fender.
Wasted days and wasted nights.
Listen, gents, we've all read the reviews, but I'm not so sure the script should be the scapegoat here.
Yeah, but it's a good start.
Making a motion picture is a process, more like processes. In reality, it's a process-based process. One giant overarching process, i.e. the movie, peppered with smaller processes like cuts and the lines and the shots and until this Goliath of a process is so far out of reach that you just have to take solace in the ontological process itself.
Let's consider some options. Maybe we make a low-budget horror film.
The director will never go for an horror film. Any shit stain with the smartphone can make one. There's no art to it. All you need is a cadre of D-cup waifs bouncing around chaotically, screaming like air raid sirens.
Wait a second now, let's not dismiss this horror film idea out of hand. Methinks it have some merits.
Everyone knows you can't get your mouth around a D-cup.
Speak for yourself.
What kind of film projects have you guys done?
Well, art films mainly.
The correct term for our previous projects was mumblecore.
I'd describe it as dialogicide.
Mumblecore? The fuck is that?
Mumblecore is a term for a low-budget movie with confusing lines, amateur actors, and technical sound problems.
Gentlemen, stop always having to go with the script. Because what is a script anyway besides words? I mean, its essence is words. Now, think about this. Words, words, words. Those three words are the most famous example of words being used as words, and those words are Hamlet's words.
Yeah, and look what happened to him.
The thing rapped all night about a suicide, how he'd kick it in the head when he was 25.
But don't you all see that these scripts are tailored precisely for you? The dialogue that I divine is so dense with meaning that real actors couldn't deliver the lines without having a fucking heart attack.
Elizabeth, I'm a coming to join ya.
That's why we got you guys.
Thanks.
Think about the authenticity, okay? Think about it. You don't get a Laurence Olivier to read Finnegan's Wake. No goddamn way. He'd be tripping over those lines like a fucking drunk in an Irish alley.
So what then? We get a Gene Wilder type?
Young Frankenstein.
Well, Gene Wilder would work.
Stop it. Now, in my opinion, I really don't think we should rehash the Coen Brothers film catalog.
I love Ladykillers.
Jesus H. Christ, Johnny. Ladykillers?
Yeah, I need Tom Hanks being schmaltzy. Like I need another kitten tattoo.
Well, Inspector Clouseau was in that movie.
I think you're thinking of Dr. Strangelove again.
It's like 6 degrees of separation from the Pink Panther.
No, hang on now. My cousin is factually correct. Peter Sellers was in the Ladykillers, just not the Coen version.
That's our Johnny. His intellect is rope-a-dope and sleight of hand. He actually gets more shit right than most people would wager to give him credit for.
What, you've got it right with the brandy?
Listen, guys, I don't want to make another film where we're pretending not to read our dialogue off the scripts in front of us.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Psycho killer, que es que se?
Hey, have you guys ever thought about doing a silent film?
Yeah, like every time we hear the word action.
Maybe you could do English overdubs and pretend like it's a foreign film.
Spaghetti mumblecore?
Boys, I ain't into making an American adaptation of La Dolce Vita. Hell no. Let's crash some fucking cars.
You think you can jump over the hood of a car, yell yippee-ki-yay, and not shit your pants?
Hey, do you guys dig sci-fi at all?
Highly unlikely anybody in this cast has the acting chops to pull off literary science fiction.
Mumblecore in space.
Maybe, but what about Primer?
They beat us to the punch, and I won't do a remake.
Well, the Coen Brothers could. They've already remade Ladykillers, Gambit, True Grit. Hell, if you can pimp out Shirley MacLaine and the Duke, you sure as hell can pull off Time Travel Storage Unit.
Nah, I bet their next remake is of that German sci-fi goth film, Metropolis, starring McDermott, Turturro, Damon, Clooney, Goodman, anybody else who's available and still hanging on.
You know what, though? The advantage of a sci-fi is it doesn't require a lot of acting or dialogue because it's basically based on metaphysical trope. It's not as much what you say as the face you make when you don't say it.
Well, then maybe we can compromise and do postmodern sci-fi.
And what the fuck is that?
Maybe he meant post-mortem.
Open the pod bay doors, hell.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Hey, this inanity reminds me, Johnny, what is your least favorite Coen Brothers film?
Oh boy, I really didn't like when Paul Newman had eat all those eggs.
Alrighty then. We've asked everyone else. Randy, least favorite Coen Brother films. What do you say, sir?
Worst. What was that one with the musical sailor bit?
Hail Caesar.
Tatum Channing acting out his ultimate fantasy.
Yeah, I didn't get that tap dancing bit.
Yeah, and what was the deal with Clooney's character? Was he abducted or something?
And where'd that submarine fucking come from?
Listen, the entire endeavor was a swordless sheath.
Maybe not the worst film, but definitely opaque by their normal brilliance.
Hey, did they do that one with Matt Damon, Greg Norman? They were Siamese pictures.
I believe the correct nomenclature is commingled. Siam was destroyed in the post-Vietnam drawdown.
Conjoined, you prick.
Potato. I stand by commingled. Now, can we get back to our film?
Fine, but I knew that Johnny was going to bring up one of the Farrelly Brothers films. I'm starting to see the wisdom in his idiocracy.
One half of one count?
Half of what?
Half a brain?
Half a movie?
If so, I vote for the first half of Intolerable Cruelty.
Meh and double meh, and that's just for the first half.
No, one half of the directing partnership.
Do they do that?
Uncommingled?
You guys never got fooled into watching Watson and Holmes?
Holy Jesus, that was a Coen?
Repent, sinners. That was dog turds on top of horse shit peppered with cockleburrs.
Gmo, you're a Bukowskian poet.
I sing the blues, just the blues.
So are you trying to say that one of the brothers went rogue, cut the sacred bond, and produced this Jerry Lewis Goes to London bullshit?
John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell were brilliant casting, but a Coen never would have written those lines.
But it had to be a hack with some clout. They bamboozled Hugh Laurie and Ray Fiennes, for Christ's sakes.
And Steve Coogan.
Ha! Nice bluff, Blondie. Listen. Watson and Holmes was directed by a Coen, just not Joel or Ethan.
So you're saying there's a third brother we don't know about?
Like the Mannings?
Man, that is idiocratic.
No, it was directed by Eaton Cohen. E-T-A-N, C-O-H-E-N. Different spelling, no blood relation, just move the H to the last name.
I call bullshit. There's no way there's another Ethan Coen who writes zany movies.
Yeah, is Wes Anderson a Coen now too?
Google doesn't lie, fellas.
Internets? Seriously, the internets? Sir, we are gentlemen here.
How about the Men Who Stare at Goats? Didn't Joel direct that one?
No, but it did star Clooney, and you're thinking of Burn After Reading. Not quite so bad.
Sounds like maybe there's some food for thought here after all.
I don't know. Maybe the problem is that they don't really have 3 really bad films.
There are people that don't believe in the Trinity.
Old Testament, Gmo. Now, if we've learned anything today, it's that the Coen brothers are just too good to have only 3 great films, and yet, at their absolute worst, still too mediocre to have shat out 3 stinkers.
So there probably is not a script to be had there then, eh?
Oh, Horatio, do thou use my own words against me?
That's literal dialogue aside.
So they didn't direct 3 shitty movies. But you could throw Suburbicon on there, because they did co-write that 40-car pileup.
Makes you wonder how penny ante turnip head shit like that can even happen.
Yeah, our beloved Coens are not exempt from shitting where they eat.
Fine, but can we get back to my idea of a postmodern sci-fi? I'm thinking of a twist. A dark comedy. Call it transmodern.
You mean like both pre and postmodern?
Hold on now, Gmo. And Johnny, get your hand out of your pants. This transmodern thing could work. It could work well. We just need to eliminate any of the elaborate metaphysical tropes or, just allude to them. And, well, we're all card-carrying cynics here, so the dark comedy pretty much writes itself.
Nah, I don't know. That sounds a little too cinema clef. I like this primer type idea, but with horror, which at its best really is dark comedy.
Like Death Proof or Blue Velvet.
You just want to wreck cars, Gmo.
Fuck yeah, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, baby.
Shh. Now let's just keep it simple, Push the psychological, mute the color, squelch the sound. We could portray a man afraid to leave his house, living in what he thinks is a dystopian world with radio and TV blaring 1984 style in the background, drapes drawn, paranoia on the up, and we don't have to give a reason.
Right, and people keep coming to his house and knocking on his front door. Kirby salesmen, fundraisers, neighborhood kids, Jehovites, Girl Scouts. And with every knock and every hello, it just drives his terror even deeper.
Yeah, like Nick Nolte on a badass trip.
Or D&T and Coke.
This is great. An old man uses the old grimy telephone to call up his neighbor, much more rational, played by me, of course, who then goes over with a Xanax Stoli cocktail and a baseball bat and gets shit figured out.
So grumpy old men with Memento, starring Nick Nolte?
As they say, lemonade, bitches.
I really like this idea. If you guys are really into this, let me take a crack at this script.
Maybe we should give the animal doctor a crack at the prose. I mean, it can't be any worse than the movies we've already done.
Well, true colors have been hoisted because you, Benedict Arnold, and you, Judas Iscariot, and you, Lando Calrissian, you have all betrayed our beloved director.
Come on, Stu. No need to piddle. You're our little pork pie hat. We still love you. But we just need a break from the barred stage.
Listen, Stu, we love how your words sound when they're spoken, but speaking them is debilitating.
Yeah, and remembering them, That's an impossibility.
Obfuscatory. I tried to tell you earlier.
Okay, so hold on a minute. What you guys are telling me is that instead of saying to be or not to be, that is the question. You'd rather say, fuck it. And instead of all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players, you'd rather say, people. And instead of saying, the lady doth protest too much, methinks, you'd rather say, mouthy twat.
It'd be way easier to remember and to understand and to shoot. Can you imagine doing a scene in one take?
Mouthy twat does have a nice ring to it.
Listen, Stu, the future is now. For good or ill, we live in the Twitterverse. You know the average YouTube video that gets watched is less than 2 minutes long?
Hell, I forget to wipe my ass if I shit too long.
Well, what can I say, and not look too petty about it?
Oh, I'm sure you'll think of something, but the question is, do we have enough time?
No worries, gents. I take this defeat as a professional with modest stillness and humility.
Really?
As the chorus proclaims to the round. Rise, citizens, for the Goths are at the gates. But wait, no. Oh no, dear Caesar. The Goths already inhabit this eternal city, for they have long been here among us. And we, complacent citizens, we have given them the keys.
I knew he couldn't.
Him? Never. Never ever.
But regardless, the people have spoken.
Correct. The new leadership has spoken. And our new mandate is terse, transmodern, sci-fi noir.
And a bitchin' Camaro. 2 Camaros, poised for destruction.
In the next script, how about we under-fecundate our uber fluidity a tad? No?
Oh, my dear scene, your words, though sharp, only prick as salves, for I know they come from thy heart.
It's all with love, my little pork pie hat.
And so it will be with my new endeavor.
Oh, and what is that?
Well, it comes back to something Johnny said earlier.
All eyes.
No, not down by the dock, up here on the deck.
Idiocratic.
No, after that.
Gender swapping robots.
No, but that was a good one.
Lemonade.
Yes. Lemonade bitches.
Ooh, I do love that saying.
That was my saying.
That's not a saying.
So, what's your lemonade, Stu?
Well, if Uncle Cousin Randy's going to take over the writing here, then I thought it might be a good opportunity for me to try my hand at directing. Seriously, wait until you guys see my long panning shots.
Right, but don't you think a director might have something to say about that?
Oh, I don't know about that, Kung Fu.
Well, Mama says he's righteous, good looking too. On the other side of town, they're tying his news out there in the blues. That ain't no fake news. Pick any name you choose. Identity blues. Undying, it's the same old ruse. Once your old max turn.
Sure, but the Jim Hop. Sure, but
sorry, my bad.
sorry. Sure, the Jim. Ay.
Hold on, it's
I got it.
Jimmy.
I got it.
It's Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Oh, wait.
Sure, but the Jim Hop. Fucking motherfucker.
His last name's Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
You could say Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
I should know this. I know this. All right.
I know you know it.
Yeah, your dad's a union man.
Yes, he
okay? All
is.
right, yeah.
You'll be ashamed.
You want me to say it? You want me to read you in?
No,
Okay.
it's throwing me off. Sure, but the Jimmy beat, pause. All right. Sure, but the Jimmy.
Just
My
say,
God!
Uncle Cousin Jimmy. Just say it. It's like a mind fuck.
This is definitely
It's a
going
mind
on
fuck.
the DVD.
Hey, wait. Control.
All right, I got it.
Blue screen.
Okay, okay.
He has the
It's-
blue
it's
screen of
over.
death.
I'm relaxed.
Yep.
Sure, but the Jimmy Hoffa thing was timely.